How to train chess. Building a training routine is very difficult. I have tried numerous times, and sometimes it works well for a brief period of time, and then it falls apart. I've recently read two books about forming habits, and we're gonna discuss that a little bit. Related to chess training today. So what I'm gonna give you today is the formula on how to build the chess training routine that will make you a better chess player. This is the promise of today's video. Are you ready for it? I hope so. Okay. We start here, chess training the effective way. Sounds very good. When forming habits, there are some rules, and I've decided to use James Clear's setup from Atomic Habits, a great book. I also read Tiny Habits by B.J. Fogg, which is also a very good book, and I can definitely recommend these two books. It's not so easy to design habits that will stick. Well, actually, some habits stick very easily. Eating chocolate or drinking Coca-Cola or browsing your smartphone, looking at Facebook. That's very easy to do, right? It doesn't take 28 days or how long they say it takes to make that happen. But making a chess training setup is difficult. There are a lot of things that can go wrong, and the hard thing is both to how to design it, but also how to stick to it. So the first thing is to make it obvious, and make it obvious is also making it visible. You have to have the training ready, so you will be prompted to do it. That's the thing. So set up a chessboard or make a reminder in your smartphone at tomorrow at 9 a.m. I will do chess exercises for 30 minutes, and then make a prompt that will make you do that. Make it attractive. Well, it's kind of nice to it's easy to build a habit of watching Netflix every night, right? It feels good. It feels good to do that, but but making a habit of always running in the rain is not as attractive. So make it attractive. Do something for it that makes it easier to do, like putting in rewards when you do it. Every time I have done so, I will get this reward. Or um, for instance, have a score system for your rating, or something, or have a training body and say, okay, let's keep it. We will both do this training every day, blah blah blah, and we will keep each other up on this promise. Make it easy to do, and that's very very important. If something is hard to do, you will not stick with it. So making it easy to do is better. If you have to get your chessboard out before you start working on the chess, it will not it will not work. It will it will so if you, for instance, if you are doing exercises, for instance, by one of Jakob Ograd's books, which are pretty good with very difficult exercises, then have the position set up before you go to sleep on a chessboard in your living room. Then when you get up, all you have to do is sit down and look at the position. Also, your subconscious mind will have worked on the position at night, so it may be easier. Okay, and make it satisfying, and that's also why it's so easy to watch Netflix and eat chocolate, and so difficult to run in the rain, and that's also why you have to find a way to give yourself some sort of reward, making saying, okay, I want to do this. Also, you should make it very clear what you want to do. Okay, how to practice. So this is where most people get stuck. Well, one thing to do is you look at you a lot of strong players, they work together because it's hard and it's boring to train chess. So having another guy to help you, or a girl, getting it done is good. But the most well, basically is as to chair that counts here. Sitting down, doing the work. And I think sort of a mix between solving exercises. I will show later how I do it, and studying openings and studying middle games and studying end games is probably best. Not doing only one thing because it becomes too boring. So what to practice? Well, in general, you should look at, well, what you are not good at. If you, for instance, let's say you are a 1300 rated player and you would like to become a 1500 rated player, then I would look at your skill set and try to compare it to a 1500 rated player and say, okay, they know more about the opening than I do, so I should practice openings. They also know more about the ending than I do. And when I get these kind of endings against 1500 players, I always lose. So I will look at that. They also calculate better, so I should probably do calculating exercises. Um, the thing is, you're trying to make your C game your B game in general, just like an inchward looking forward. The things you are very good at, you should probably not train that much in general if you're trying to improve. You should get rid of your weaknesses. When to practice? That's also a good question. I think if you the thing I usually do is I make a very big scheme of I will do 1 hour of openings, then I will do 1 hour of end games, and I will do 1 hour of combination exercises, and in general it will be crowded out by life. So you should make a sort of an effort to schedule it and make sure it's scheduled so you'll have to do it. This is very, very important. And the best practice is, of course, the practice you actually do. So doing 1 hour is probably for most people who study or have job, if they can do 1 hour of chess practice a day is very it would be probably be pretty good. So what to do about when to do it? Well, you have to find some time where you can say this time is for chess training and nothing else will get in the way. Nothing else will get in the way. This is when I practice chess and I switch off my telephone, I switch off the Netflix and everything else, and I work on chess for 1 hour, for say, or half an hour, or 20 minutes. Making it easier is definitely important. And then how to keep going. And well, first of all, you have to set all the other things, the James Clear's 4 principles into play to keep going. Uh, but you also have to make it as tiny as possible so you're sure you will do it. I managed to, at the moment, meditate every day, and it's not hard, but it's also only 12 minutes. If it was 1 hour, the habit would die immediately. I would not be able to uphold it for a very long period of time. So to keep going, you have to sort of both be accountable towards this, but also make it easy to do. And set up make a setup, make a practice that you can actually keep doing. And then you have to sort of get this Seinfeld thing of don't break the chain. We will keep going every day. You'll make a little mark. I made my chest training. Yes, I made my chest training. Yes, I made my chest training. Yes, and the thing is, this is how you actually get it going. Most of the time, sometimes you'll be very motivated for training chess, and you will do it for 3 hours, and then you will not do it for 3 weeks. And then it's better to just do 20 minutes a day because it will add up to much more time in the long run. Okay, what to use for chess training? Should you use books? Should you use videos like GM Talks videos, or should you use chess sites? There's also a lot of chess coaches. Training buddies are a very good thing to both tell you what you should do and keep you accountable to actually getting it done. And then, of course, there is the don't plateau. If you're doing the same thing over and over and you're not improving, then you should do something else. I think in general, I like books. I like to go through things in books and read them and then say it out loud and think about. But I think a lot of players prefer to see videos or just being instructed by a chess coach. Whatever you do, you should find a setup that works for you. It's not what everybody else does. You should not, and you don't say, okay, Sergei Kayakin, he was training this way, so I will train that way as well. If it doesn't work for you, that's not the right way to do it. So find a way that works for you. And the thing is, if you look at how you got good at anything you're good at, then use the same method. This is definitely the best way to do it. Okay, so the best chess practice routine is the one you actually do. So when you're trying to design your chess training practice routine, find a setup that you will be able to keep doing. And we are very optimistic on our future selves. We think that the Sune of tomorrow he will be able to do all this boring work, so I can might as well postpone it today so he can do it all tomorrow. It will not be a problem for him. He will just do it. And of course that's not true. And the Sune of tomorrow will probably be just as lazy and trying to pass it on to the future Sune of the day after tomorrow. So make a routine that you can stick to, and making the goals, what you do, make it very explicit. Say, okay, I will do 5 exercises every day in the morning on chess.com. Okay, so how do I train? Well, I don't do enough. I sometimes study openings. I'll look at that in a later video on how I do that. But today we're just gonna see a different way um, of practicing that you can just do easily. It's from chess.com, where they have some practice sites, and I just solved one. So the next one will be new to me. So let's see it. What's going on here? So, okay, we are black in this position, and it's black and was very weird position, by the way. Um, very weird indeed. So what are the pieces? Okay, he just took on uh, what did he do? I don't know. Where is strange position? Black is behind with a piece. What was that? That's very weird. And he sees the move. He can take on c3. He can take on e2. Hmm. Let's see what to do here. This is weird. So what happens if we take on c3? He will take back with what? Taking on c3 with the pawn looks like it's winning something. So what's wrong here? You'll have to take back. If you take back with a knight, you can take on d2. Is there a problem with the check? It doesn't look that way. Um, so you can take with the knight, queen, or take with the queen, take with the knight. Queen takes d2. It seems to me like everything is winning. So what's the problem? You can both take on e2 and c3. I don't get it. Must be something weird here. But okay, it looks better to take on c3 because you're winning a piece. So we will take c3. This was correct. Okay. And why can't you take the knight here? I'll just take the knight. This was correct as well. Okay, and there's no other move than king g2. Is that a problem? Okay, that was a very bad exercise, to be honest, because you just took all the pieces and moved forward. Okay, let's make another one. Okay, this is interesting. Let's see what's going on here. Um, Okay. Uh, Black just took on f4, making some sort of combination. The idea is, of course, to try to get forward with the pawns. We instantly see that if we take with the pawn here, is that easier, or we can take on with the bishop with both, it seems. But we have to look at if there is any kind of Zugzwang. So in general, we would prefer him to have the e pawn because the e pawn is closer to our king, and knights are not very good at long distance. So even though we might manage to stop the pawn on d2, we'll get into Zugzwang. So we'll take with the e pawn. The idea is, of course, there will be a check on c3 to make it. So we'll take with the e pawn. That's on principle. As you can do the same thing. And here it's important to find this move to have this check. And okay, so we're not finished yet. Um, and he's threatening to walk in. That's a bit annoying though. So can we prevent that? No. hmm We're a bit afraid of Zugzwang here. I didn't calculate it long enough for sure. Uh, so black is threatening to run in with the king, and we're afraid to be stuck in some sort of situation where so we need to win the f pawn, and we have to have the king to e3 at some point. So mhm. Can we cover this pawn if we were able to get the knight to h5? But it doesn't seem that way, though. Mhm. Hmm. So not so easy. Knight here, king here. Knight here, maybe. King here, knight there. Yeah, we're getting there. Yes, that took a long time to find the right maneuver here. Both getting ready to win the pawn there. These kind of exercises will definitely make you a better player. Definitely not easy to solve these things, and the important thing is to find a way, find a set of exercises that are difficult but not too difficult. James Clear says that you have to stay between system 1 and system 2. That is, you say, it's probably this, or you really have to work and think like I just did here on this exercise. Anyway, I hope this gave you some input on how to do effective chess training. This was GM Talks. I'm looking forward to your comments on this kind of video. Was it good? Was it boring? Was it was it interesting? Was it helpful? Anyway, thank you for watching.